Have you ever chased a dream that you felt you could never reach, or failed so hard that you gave up hope of ever trying again? Have you ever felt like you were stuck in a dead-end job where you would never make enough money to retire, but which you were afraid to leave because the thought of starting over in something new was far worse than dying a slow death right where you were? Did you ever think that some big cosmic deck was stacked against you long ago, and that you had no hope of breaking out of the cycle of disappointment and frustration that you have come to endure all your life? Maybe you even convinced yourself into believing that you didn't deserve any better. If any of these describe you, then what you're about to read in this book will be a life changer. Not a little life changer. I'm talking about fundamentally changing who you are. How? By changing the way you think about yourself. Hi, I'm Brian Webster. I'd like to spend a few minutes with you talking about something everyone thinks about, but few people really understand: prosperity, and how to achieve it. When I talk about prosperity, I'm not talking simply about monetary wealth, although that's a big part of it. I like to think about prosperity in its richest meaning, the prosperity that means thriving and flourishing in every aspect of your life. Prosperity is often misunderstood. Most people think of it as something they don't have, something they somehow have to get, or something some people are fortunate enough to have and others, like themselves, will never have. They walk through a marina and see the pricey yachts that line it and think to themselves, I can't believe there are people this rich. I will never be that successful. I'd be lucky just to set foot on one of those boats. Owning one is totally out of the question. Or worse, they feel a little bit of jealousy or animosity towards the people who own them because they believe they will never have the opportunity to be part of this world because life just isn't fair. Think about this for a moment. Did you ever consider, when looking at really great achievers like wealthy yacht owners or uber successful athletes or successful business professionals, that maybe these people serve a purpose in our lives? That maybe they're showing us how prosperous we can be if we just think a little differently about ourselves? That maybe this world is not really a world of haves and have-nots, but of people who choose to think like haves or have-nots. What you think about yourself either empowers you or limits you. Your thinking acts either as the energy that propels you to accomplish extraordinary things or as the anchor that keeps you stuck in the mud. All the successful people you know have figured this out, either through the school of life or because it's in their DNA. The good news for you is that it doesn't matter how you finally come to this realization. The only thing that matters is when you decide to do it. And that's something you and only you control. You are not and never have been at the mercy of anyone or anything or any situation you cannot control. Your thought alone is what determines your experience. Do you doubt this? Then consider for a moment a competition between two top Olympic sprinters. As they place their feet into the blocks before a big race, one is thinking, I'm at the top of my game. Nothing can keep me from winning this race. There is no other sprinter on earth as fast as I am. I can taste the gold already. The other runner is thinking to herself, I can't possibly win this race. I haven't been performing well lately, and that woman next to me is probably the fastest woman on the planet. I'll be fortunate if I just finish close enough not to embarrass myself. Which one do you think will win, and why? You know what I'm saying. It's no great secret. Just about everyone knows the role that attitude and confidence have in the pursuit of victory. You can't run forward while looking backward. It's the mental state that is all important. It doesn't matter if we're talking about an individual or an entire team. the same is true for prosperity. So many people have given up hope of ever finding it. If you're one of these people, welcome to the majority. You're far from alone. In fact, most of us have entertained thoughts like these at one point or another in our lives. I have. I had been a successful professional all my life. I'd even started and run a multi-million-dollar business. But eventually it hit hard times, and so did several other ventures I later got involved with. After a number of years, I had nothing to show for any of it. My bank account got so low that the monthly fees I was accruing for insufficient funds to pay my bills were bigger than the balance I had in my account. Talk about an epic fail. I had a family to support, a large house and mortgage, and no job. It was a horrible place to be, a very dark, bottom-of-the-barrel experience that didn't offer much hope. The story of how I was lifted out of this experience is really pretty remarkable. The story of how I found prosperity is even more remarkable. I never could have imagined it. What I learned in this journey is what I want to share with you in this book. Why should all this matter to you? Because if I learned only one thing through this experience, it is that my story could be anyone's story. It might even be your story. Why do I say that? Because the solution to my personal crisis didn't come out of any random coincidence that could only happen to me. There was no lucky break or miraculous event that suddenly changed my world. What I came to understand was that I was witnessing a natural sequence of events unfolding themselves in a natural order right before my eyes. I realized that if it could happen once, it could happen 1,000 times. The only thing that was waiting for was me. You see, the table had been set all along. It was just waiting for me to sit down. The prosperity I had been seeking was not something out there that I had to search for and find. The prosperity I was searching for had always been within me. It was just covered in so many layers of disbelief that I couldn't see it. Disbelief I had acquired unknowingly from experience after experience through my life. My ignorant disbelief hid what had been there all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, prosperous living follows prosperous thinking as naturally as day follows night. Finding the prosperity within will show you how to break out of self-destructive thought patterns that limit your life ambitions and force you into a life of servitude and mediocrity, failure and disappointment. It will show you how to recognize the suggestions that put you in this position in the first place and how to reverse them before they take control of your consciousness and then your experience. It will show you how to light up your potential and live a happy and productive life. Join me in this journey. Learn through the eyes of two people who are taking the journey themselves. Then follow the recommendations made in this book. The book may make you feel good, but it won't change anything unless you are willing to put forth some effort. You have to have a burning desire to change. You have to take the time to define your goal. You have to pursue your goal with unyielding determination, and you have to have the discipline to stay the course. If you do all of these, you will find that success will flow naturally from the prosperity within you. See for yourself. It's been waiting for you. The question is, are you going to claim it?